You ever work with anybody? Or you ever had a boss? Ever been in somebody in your life and you're like, they're loopy, they're crazy. And then all of a sudden, years later, you're like, maybe they were a lot smarter than I thought. I know we've made fun, people have, the media has, made fun of Jerry Jones. You ever think have you watched their drafts in the last 7-8 years? Maybe Dallas is a little smarter than you think. They do win their division 2 of the last 3 years. When's the last time, outside of the Romo injured year, they were bad? Maybe Jerry Jones, he did hire Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. Maybe Jerry's a little smarter than you think, and his son's a little smarter than you think. 2 days ago, I said this, Joy and I talked about this, that Jerry Jones just put on a cowboy hat and a cowboy shirt, sat under a nice shaded tree, and delivered an address saying basically, running backs don't win Super Bowls. And he said it with that Texas charm and that homey Texas slang. And you're like, man, Jerry's making a real impact here. Well, Stephen Jones did it yesterday, his son. Stephen Jones came out and he talked to the media. Jerry and Stephen have pushed it, moved the argument to Zeke is taking your money. So smart. Now it's not ownership against young star player. It's Zeke. If he takes more money, he's just taking money out of your pocket and your family's pocket, and you guys are all great. And there is an advantage to having that sort of, I got to be honest, that whole Texas twang thing makes everything sound a little softer. Somebody with a Texas twang could walk up to you and say, you're fired, and we love you here, but you just couldn't get the job done, and we love you here in Dallas. But you're not getting the job done. I'm going to have to fire you, and I feel bad for your family and your children. And but we're going to have to let you go. And by the end of it, you're like, yeah, you didn't do a good enough job. You deserve to be fired. It's that Texas twang thing. And Stephen and Jerry just go on, we'd love to pay you. It's like the opposite of a British accent. Like the British accent is harsh. You can say anything with a British accent, and it sounds smart, right? Like you got that, of course, Paw Patrol is the greatest show of all time. If you don't watch Nickelodeon, you don't understand the world is flat. It's complete rubbish. And you believe it. There's something about Stephen and Jerry and the Texas twang, and they make you feel like they love you and won't put your arms around you, and they want you to be cowboys. And boy, they're good at it. Boy, they're good at it. They're really smart at it. And they turn this Zeke thing. This could implode a locker room, right? You got to pay Zeke. You got to pay the star. And they just shift it over. We love him. We think he's a good old cowboy, but he takes money from this cowboy. We can't give it to this other cowboy we like. It's so smart. It's so thoughtful. It's so brilliant that this is no longer Zeke against management. It's Zeke taking money from other cowboy players. They have done. By the way, Jane Slater was on our show yesterday. Everybody keeps saying it's going to get done, but Jane Slater on our show yesterday, Cowboy Beat reporter, said, not so fast.
I reached out this morning, and the text back I got on was close, nope. And I said, what is the sticking point then? Are we talking guarantees? Are we talking extensions, Joy? The pushback I got was everything. Now, my follow-up question was, okay, well, do we anticipate we're going to see him show up in Oxnard on August 6th, this arbitrary deadline we've been hearing about, how it affects him being a restricted free agent after this year? The response was, we don't know.
Remember this about Jerry and Stephen Jones. The NFL is owned, except Mark Davis of the Raiders, mostly by billionaires. And yet the billionaires let the Jones family lead them on most issues. Billionaires don't choose the dumb guys in the room to lead them. The Cowboys know what they're doing. Jerry and Stephen know what they're doing. And what they're doing is telling all those Cowboy players, you're all young and great. And we want to be in business with all of you forever. That guy in Cabo down there having fun in the surf, he's just taking your money. Really smart. Let me shift to this. So lists can be arbitrary, opinion-based, not really fact-based, but lists are fun, especially when a list is comprised of opinions from people in an industry. So NFL players every year vote on the top 100 players in the NFL. NFL players do. And they voted this year in the top 100 players. And there are 15 quarterbacks that made the list. Now, they didn't go 1 through 15. But here is the order in which NFL players who watch film, who watch quarterbacks, who see their strengths, who see their weaknesses, who listen to their coaches tell them this quarterback can do this, he can't do this. Here is the order of the quarterbacks according to players. Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers 4, Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck. Number 7, Russell Wilson. 8, Jared Goff. Big Ben. Baker Mayfield's the 10th best. Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins, 13. Cam Newton, 14. Carson Wentz, injured a lot, is the 15th and last quarterback selected by players in the top 100 list. It is mostly reasonable. It is not outrageous. Baker's a little higher than I would put him. Kirk Cousins is a little higher than I would put him. I would put Derek Carr somewhere in that list, in my opinion. But players are telling you, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, and Kirk Cousins, better than Cam. Players watch film. Players hear coaches. Players face him over and over. I do not hate Cam Newton. I was just right and early on Cam Newton. Is that players, and players, by the way, generally like super athletic stars. Players sometimes don't get the system guy, but players generally, they like their Antonio Brown. They like their OBJ. Players like NBA, guys love Westbrook. Steph can't get any credit from players. They love Westbrook. Cam's a kind of guy people would like. Big, handsome, rock star. He got his, he's got music. He's more than just a player. You'd think players would like it. Nope. Kirk Cousins is ahead of him. Jared Goff's ahead of him. Baker Mayfield, baby, ahead of him. I don't hate Cam Newton. I never hated Russell Westbrook. I can hate components and part of their game. Is that after all these years, 7 years of excuses, once again, I'm being told Cam doesn't have this, Cam doesn't have that, Cam doesn't have this. Deshaun Watson doesn't have an offensive line. And he's significantly higher than Cam Newton. Stop with the excuses. Nobody is a victim of their reputation. It is all talk show host, dentist, attorney, teacher, quarterback earned. 7 years in, this is what Cam is, according to other NFL players. And it's just about where I have him. I have him ahead of Kirk Cousins, by the way. I have him ahead of Kirk Cousins. That I do. I think I also have him ahead of Baker Mayfield. I may not. That's a close one. I watched them play last year. I thought Baker was better on that Sunday. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.